911. Do you need police, fire, or medic?
I need police. Somebody just been my house. I came home and I had a woman in my house and I pulled out my gun and and she's not moving.
How old is she?
I have no idea. I don't even know the woman. She's inside my house in the hallway on the floor.
Is she flat on her back?
No, she's on her stomach. I can try to move her on her back.
Oh,
My
man.
husband told me don't touch
Oh,
me.
man.
Oh, God, what did I do? What did I do?
A woman called 911 and told the operator she'd just shot someone in her home. But this wasn't a break-in.
Oh,
the person
my
lying on the
goodness.
floor was a 25-year-old lady her husband brought to their matrimonial home. And what happened in the minutes before that call? That's when things got really complicated.
I'm angry. I'm upset that for her to go from one emotion to the next, you get on the 911 call and I have a call recorded on my phone where you're beating my child, and then you call 911 and you're emotionally crying and saying your life is over.
I feel like it's senseless. I feel like she didn't have a chance.
Before we get too deep, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you find value in these discussions. On July 18th, 2023, in Charlotte, North Carolina, a small house on Porter Street became the scene of a tragedy. And the person at the center of it all was Tyra Chanel Crosby. 25-year-old Tyra was born on August 28, 1997. She lived in Charlotte with her mother, Tanya Hoskins. People who knew Tyra described her as outgoing, full of life.
She wouldn't want us to be sad out here. She was the life of every situation. You know what I'm saying? Your head down, she gonna make sure you lift it up. You know, she prayed every day.
She had big dreams, and like most young people trying to figure things out, she'd made some mistakes along the way. Her past wasn't perfect. Between 2018 and 2023, Tyra allegedly had some run-ins with the law, and some serious charges too. But according to her family and friends, she was working to turn things around. Tyra was in a relationship. You can see them in videos she posted online, doing those couple challenge things, laughing, being young.
Who's the better cook? Who said I love you first? Who takes longer to get ready in the morning? Who's the grumpy one in the morning?
I wonder if this is the dude that got caught cheating.
Who's more stubborn? Who's the bigger baby when sick? Who's the social butterfly? Who's the messy one? Who works out more? Who requires more attention?
She seemed happy having someone she cared about and who cared about her too. But on the night of July 17th, 2023, Tyra went out. Her mother wasn't exactly sure where, but according to reports, it was probably a club or one of those arcade sweepstake spots on Freedom Drive. At some point that evening, Tyra met Albert Alexander, a 50-year-old man. And at some point that evening, he and Tyra connected. They talked, drank, and hung out. Now remember, Tyra had a boyfriend, someone she was posting about online, someone she seemed happy with. So why was she out that night with Albert?
Dang, she had a boyfriend and the man. She had a boyfriend and the man she met had a girl. Oh my, this is crazy. It's gonna get crazy.
Maybe Tyra was just out having fun and didn't think meeting someone new meant anything serious. Whatever the reason that night, Tyra crossed paths with Albert Alexander and they spent hours together. They were reportedly at an arcade spot with drinks, music, talking, laughing, and getting comfortable with each other. Hours went by, and at some point, Albert made his move. He invited Tyra back to his place. He took her to a house on Porter Street. Tyra had no idea about the reality of Albert's situation. She thought she was going home with a single man. Around 5 o'clock in the morning, someone else came to that house. When police arrived at Porter Street, they found Tyra Crosby on the floor. She had been shot. There was nothing the paramedics could do. Tyra was pronounced gone at the scene. That 911 call came from 51-year-old Stephanie Alexander.
This man's wife was 51 years old. Oh!
Albert's wife. Stephanie Alexander worked in healthcare. She had certifications, including CPR training. She was the type of woman who was working hard, taking care of business, working different shifts. Stephanie and Albert had been together for years, legally married. Stephanie had 5 children from a previous relationship, and Albert had stepped in as a stepfather to all of them. But public records showed Albert listed at a different address than Stephanie. He had a place on Julian Avenue, an apartment. Stephanie was listed at the Porter Street house where everything went down. Were they separated, living apart but still married? That part's still unclear. There were also reports of another woman in his life, allegedly named Patricia.
Dang, boy was a pimp. He thought he was going out like, he thought he was Pimp C or something like. Boy, if you don't get your...
People looking at Albert's life, they didn't know if he was married or who exactly he was married to. So when Albert met Tyra that night, how hard would it have been for him to lie, to present himself as single, to make her believe he was just a guy out having a good time, not a married man with a wife at home? When Albert brought Tyra home that night, he didn't take her to his apartment on Julian Avenue. He took her to Porter Street, to the house where Stephanie lived. And that night, she'd been at work. Her job was about 26 minutes away from the Porter Street house. She stated that she came home early that morning because she needed to grab a computer for a class assignment. She pulled up to the house on Porter Street, walked through the door, and found Tyra there with her husband. What happened in those next minutes escalated really fast.
It was 5:21 a.m. on July 18th when Charlotte Mecklenburg police were called to this home on Porter Street in Northwest Charlotte. Police say 51-year-old Stephanie Alexander called 911 to report she had just shot someone. This is a portion of that 911 recording.
Charlotte 911, do you need police, fire, or medic?
I need police. Somebody just been shot in my house. I came home and I had a woman in my house, and I pulled out my gun and I shot, and she's not moving.
CMPD says this woman, 25-year-old Tyra Crosby, was dead inside the home when detectives arrived.
Okay, how old is she?
I have no idea. I don't even know the woman. She's inside my house in the hallway on the floor.
I wonder what it's like seeing that. I've never seen a dead body within like somebody getting shot or like a tragic event happening. You feel what I'm saying? I know that gotta be the scariest thing ever. I pray I don't have to go through that. I pray no one else has to go through that. Cause like, I know when you sleep at night, you probably get those thoughts in your head and you wake up out your sleep, or they face probably in your dream. Oh my God, they face probably in her dream. Oh.
Flat on her back?
No, she's on her stomach. I can try to move her on her back. My husband told me don't touch her. Oh God, what did I do?
Tyra Crosby's family told WCCB News she was invited to the home by Alexander's husband. In fact, according to them, they have an 8-minute recording of Crosby's final moments. They believe Crosby was beaten and shot. The family spoke to us after hearing the 911 call.
I'm angry. I'm upset that for her to go from one emotion to the next, you get on the 911 call and I have a call recorded on my phone where you're beating my child, and then you call 911 and you're emotionally crying and saying your life is over.
I feel like it's senseless. I feel like she didn't have a chance.
I came home and I had a woman in my house, and I pulled out my gun and I shot, and she's not moving.
Criminal defense attorney Mark Jatan is not an attorney on this case. We asked him to give us his expert opinion about the voluntary manslaughter charge against Alexander after listening to the 911 recording.
She's shaken beyond belief. You can hear that, you hear the things she's saying. It certainly seems to be the charge that you would assume is correct. Now, the tricky part is just because it's a heat of passion situation doesn't always mean manslaughter is the correct charge. Time is one of the main factors that we deal with as between manslaughter and murder, because time can equal premeditation.
Stephanie Alexander was taken into custody. She was arrested, charged, and booked into the Mecklenburg County Jail around 6 a.m. Her bond was set at $250,000. And by
what's that? That's 25 grand. Oh, that's easy.
2 p.m. that same
Well, not for everybody. Not everybody can. Not everybody has 25 grand just laying down. So it's not easy, but it's doable. If you get enough family members to come together and put some money together, you could get 25 grand.
day, Stephanie was out. She'd posted bond.
She got posted.
Albert Alexander
y'all.
was interviewed
Told
by
y'all.
police as a witness. He was never charged with anything. And that's when Tanya Hoskins, Tyra's mother, couldn't stay quiet anymore. Tanya stated that Albert lied, presenting himself as single, that Tyra had no idea this man had a wife, and she wouldn't have gone there if she'd known the truth. She believes Albert knew exactly what he was doing. He knew his wife worked nights, when she'd be gone, and when she might come home. She believed Tyra was lured there, and she wanted answers about what really happened in that house before the 911 call.
Lured to a home and brutally beaten, and she was invited there. She did not just pop up there. She was not an intruder. She was invited there.
Tyra called her mother that morning. When Tanya didn't answer, the call went to voicemail. What was captured on that recording was 8 minutes long, and according to Tanya, it captured her daughter's final moments. She stated that she could hear Tyra being attacked by both Stephanie and Albert, and that their voices were captured in the voicemail. Tanya immediately turned that voicemail over to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. She believed there was more to it, and she wanted that recording to be part of the investigation. Meanwhile, the Porter Street neighborhood was dealing with the aftermath. This was a quiet area with small homes and working-class families, and now there was a woman gone, and police tape everywhere. Neighbors were shaken. Some said they heard something that morning. Others said they had no idea anything was wrong until they saw the police cars. On July 23, 2023, 5 days after Tyra's passing, family and friends gathered at Camp Green Park in Charlotte for a candlelight vigil. People came out to remember Tyra and celebrate her life. They lit candles. They released balloons. They shared memories. Tanya spoke. She thanked people for showing up, for not forgetting her daughter. She said, "I am so grateful that whatever God sent her to do, she accomplished that mission." The next day, July 24th, Tyra was laid to rest. The funeral was held at Greater Temple Baptist Church in Charlotte. Her family, her friends, her boyfriend, everyone who loved her came to say goodbye. She was only 25 years old.
Yeah, 25,
her
young.
whole life was ahead of her. And think about her boyfriend for a second. The man
Yeah,
she
I wonder how he feel. Like, when he got the news, like, oh, your girl died, and this is how, or this is why. Boy, I'd be, you cheated, you was cheating on me? You was cheating on me?
was reportedly in a relationship with. The one in those videos with her, doing couple challenges, laughing together.
Or they could have been swingers. Let me not get too ahead of myself. They could have been swingers trying to go for a triangle relationship. Who knows?
He had to find out that the woman he loved was gone and that she'd been at another man's house. That's grief mixed with confusion.
Nah, for real.
Love mixed with hurt. How do you process that? How do you
Mad as
mourn
hell.
someone when the circumstances are so complicated?
Literally.
On July 28th, around 2 a.m., just 10 days after that incident, someone fired shots into that same house. Stephanie and
that
Albert
get
were
back.
inside at the time.
That get
Nobody was
back.
hurt, but it seemed like someone wanted to send a message. Police investigated the
Hey, get
incident,
back
but
'em
no
up.
arrests were made. They didn't confirm if it was connected to Tyra's case, but the timing, it was hard to ignore. With Stephanie out on bond, Tanya wasn't letting this go. She pushed.
My mama don't look sad. Most people that do interviews, bro, they be all sad and crying. Ah! You know, stuff like that. Her mama look way too calm. Have y'all peeped that? Y'all let me know. Because she look way too calm. I think she probably collecting insurance money or something. It gotta be something, bro. Because I know most people that be doing these interviews, they be going overboard with the crying and emotional grief. Ain't no way she's just a nonchalant person. No way.
The prosecutors and the police. She wanted those charges upgraded.
Right now, she's charged with the lowest form of murder. I want it up to first-degree murder. She murdered my daughter at 5 a.m., and she was out at 8 p.m. So that means that human life means nothing anymore.
Tanya Hoskins tells me her world was shattered after learning of the death of her daughter. And as she prepares to face the person accused of ending her life, Hoskins says she just wants the woman held accountable. A vibrant life full of promise tragically cut short.
Just was so outgoing, so spontaneous, such a beautiful soul.
The weight of the grief heavy for Tanya Hoskins as she prepares to face the woman accused of killing her daughter, 25-year-old Tyra Crosby, in a courtroom Thursday.
And my body is literally drained to have to go in and face murderers, to actually see her, to see who took my child's life.
51-year-old Stephanie Alexander is charged with second-degree murder. According to CMPD, Alexander is accused of shooting and killing Crosby in her Northwest Charlotte home in July of 2023, claiming she was a stranger. But Hoskins says the truth is more complicated.
She even said to the 911 caller that there was an intruder. Your husband brought her there. You knew she wasn't an intruder at that time, at that point of time. He knew that him and his wife shared that home together. My daughter was innocent in it.
Hoskins recalls the last time she saw her daughter alive.
I did see hours before she was led to the house, she was in a sweepstakes with him. We could see it on camera, which was the last video that I saw of her alive.
Hoskins says what happened that night was heartless and
I thought they went to the club. How?
Senseless act that robbed her daughter of a future. And Hoskins' demand is clear.
Justice looks like for me is that she would get the time that she deserves for murdering my child.
Hoskins says she continues to hold on to her daughter's memory and her fight for justice.
And on August 3rd, 2023, the Mecklenburg County Grand Jury heard the case. They reviewed the evidence, listened to that voicemail, and they made a decision. Stephanie Alexander was indicted on second-degree charges. As the case moved forward, questions kept piling up. Why wasn't Albert charged? If that voicemail really did capture both of them attacking Tyra, why was he walking around free? He was right there when it happened. His voice is allegedly on that recording.
They didn't say how many years. How many years that is? Second degree murder. Charlotte time. Let's see. Oh, that ain't nothing. Ranging from a minimum of 10 years. Oh, 10 years to life. Oh, cooked. So she could be in there for life. She don't know when she getting out, basically.
Some people speculated that prosecutors didn't have enough evidence to charge him. There was also the question of whether Stephanie and Albert were even really together. Remember, they had different addresses on record. He was listed at an apartment on Julian Avenue. She was at the Porter Street house. Were they separated? And was this some kind of revenge plot? Did Albert bring Tyra home on purpose?
Some people believed Albert set the whole thing up, that he was tired of his marriage, that bringing Tyra to that house at that time, knowing Stephanie might come home, was intentional. When you look at how
he brought her home at night, right? She was supposed to be gone by the morning. The wife, was supposed to be wife, literally came home to grab a computer to leave again. So he wasn't expecting his wife to come home. That's what I'm seeing.
Bold he was, bringing her to the house he knew Stephanie would come to. It makes you wonder. Others questioned why Tyra went home with Albert when she had a boyfriend. The case sat in the court system for over a year, and in December 2024, a court date was set. On December 5th, 2024, Stephanie Alexander stood in a Mecklenburg County courtroom and she pleaded guilty, not to second-degree charges, but to voluntary manslaughter. Okay. Stephanie claimed that she came home early from work because she needed a computer for a class assignment. She walked in and saw clothes on the couch. She asked who was in the house. Nobody answered, and she fired. She claimed she thought she was aiming at the wall, that she wasn't trying to hit anyone, that she was just scared and reacting. Her husband Albert told police that he thought Stephanie was just trying to scare her. Before sentencing, the court heard testimony. Tyra's family had the chance to speak, to tell the judge what this loss meant, to make sure Stephanie understood the weight of what she'd done. Stephanie apologized to Tyra's family and expressed remorse for what happened. Stephanie Alexander was sentenced to 60 to 84 months in prison.
Tanya
60
was
to 84
devastated.
months? What's that? If y'all can answer faster than me, do it in the comment section now. Hold on, 12, 24. What's that? 40. That's 24. That's 36. So she was sentenced to 5 to 8 years, right? Yeah, let me know in the comment section if I'm right. 5 to 8 years.
She'd fought for over a year to get justice for her daughter, and in the end, Stephanie would serve 5 to 7 years, and Albert is free. No charges, no prison time, no consequences. He was interviewed as a witness, and that was it. The man who lied to Tyra, brought her into a dangerous situation, and set this entire chain of events in motion, gets to go on with his life like nothing happened. For Tanya, she wakes up every day remembering her daughter. On August 28th, Tyra's birthday, Tanya posted on Facebook. She wrote, "Screaming to the top of my lungs, happy, happy, heavenly birthday, Tyra. Gone, but never forgotten." Tyra had her whole life ahead of her. She had someone who loved her. She was trying to do better and move past her mistakes, to build something. And one night out, one encounter with the wrong man ended all of that. Stephanie is currently serving her sentence. She'll be eligible for release sometime between 2028 and 2030.
I want it to be known, if me or you kill somebody, we have to stand the consequence, and we can't vow out on a crime of passion.
That's 2 more years, gang. 2028 to 2030. That's literally going to be in 1 to 2 years. Dang. Oh, this was in 2023. Oh, she finna be out. That's crazy.